So my original plan for this monitor was to retrobrite it and basically use it for like the Apple II, Commodore, things like that. But if I can put it in the iMac, I might be able to get a splitter and still have the best of both worlds, because I can put a port somewhere on this thing or a cable and still do that. Just when the iMac's powered off. So the iHack that I plan to build should be pretty cool. Dang, it goes clear to the edge, but that's the metal. I don't know if the panel itself does. Now this is good. I like that it's all in this one package here. I'm less excited about this, but that's probably for the best too. That part's going to be a little weird. We're going to have to turn the monitor on separately. Well, maybe not. Maybe once you turn it on, it just goes into standby mode, and you'll only have to turn it on if you lose power or whatever. Maybe not even then. So we'll see how it plays out. This should be free. As should this. Oh, okay. So I suppose, I don't think we'll need to though. I was going to say, I suppose we could probably break it down into a smaller package yet. Here, let's get this out of the way. So yeah, it's just these tabs. These tabs are going to screw us pretty much. Let's see. The tabs are the only thing that doesn't fit by the looks of things. Man, that looks good, doesn't it? Well, it looks to me like it's gonna work, but here, let's bring the other thing over and see. I just kind of pieced this thing back together. It's just sitting together. Inner structure is all gone. I took it out. I just want to see what it looked like without it. We have a few things to glue up. The bottom is cracked. I'll have to put some super glue on that. So what I was thinking is we get the pliers, right? Let me take this guy here, and we just fold it right back, like so. And we do that all the way around. So with these tabs bent like that, I may bend the top and bottom. I may need to, I may not. I may leave them be for right now. Let's bring the iMac over and see how it fits in the opening in the front of that. Okay, so here's the iMac again. I'll just kind of hold it from the top. Well, dang it. Doesn't look like it's going to work. Well, if we can get it past these tabs though, it still doesn't look like it's going to work that way. You can see that we have a gap right here, and that will buy us a little more room. Well, let's see if we separate the panel from that. So that means that iMac's got to move yet again. Alright, so we got to disconnect something here apparently. Alright, so why don't we put this back in here. Apparently we got to go a little deeper in disassembly here. This turned into a thing, isn't it? But it'll be cool when it's done. So we got to take this panel off here. So get to all the connectors. I think what we're going to end up doing is basically cutting out this gap area over here and basically putting it back on this metal panel. Just basically going to cut this excess off here. I don't want to do that with the screen in, but if I can just get it apart and probably cut this part off here, then that should give us the extra room we need. I mean, if not, I mean, may as well do it that way, because we're going to need some place to put all this stuff here for the power and the connection. And it's upside down right now too. That's something to think about. That would give us about, what do you think that is, 1/4 inch? Yeah, right at about 1/4 inch. I don't think we missed by much. I suppose we wanted to buy something, we could just go get a panel from somewhere that actually fits. I'm not looking to buy anything. Well, obviously I have to buy some things. I was looking to use stuff I have here, which is why I keep things that most people would get rid of, so that I could use them for things, ideas, projects. And so yeah, that's the whole idea, is to use what we have to make something cool. Yeah, anybody can go buy all this stuff. I especially like buying iMac's. I buy them all the time. I once bought 2 in 1 week. That was a joke. Okay, so now that comes off, what do we have here? We're going to need to release basically all these connectors here, I think. So we just need these ribbon cables is all we need. It's the only things connected, right? I don't see any other wires going through there. Okay, so these, you just pull up this little tab here and pull them out. And then pull this one and pull it out. So with that done, we should be able to take the panel off. And if we're wrong, we'll come back and try again. Okay, so here, this little connector here as well goes through. So, yeah. I missed a connector somewhere. Oh, okay, so we got this one here. That's alright. We'll get it. Oop, don't crush that. Alright, so it's this connector as well. So now we have that separated. I guess we could try it in the iMac again, huh? Alright, iMac is back. Okay. It may take a little finagling, but it will fit in there. As long as we can get it through the opening, we can set it back, if need be, a little bit, so that it clears all this crap going on up here. I think I'm going to take all this off of here just to keep it out of harm's way. Alright, well, I cut this thing down. Let's see what it does for us here. So I cut it, and then I took some sandpaper. Well, I filed it first, and then I followed up with some sandpaper to see if we could not make a knife. to cut ourselves with. We'll see how that works out. Let's see here. Let's turn it over. And we'll get this plugged in. Alright, we're going to need a VGA cable. Let's just see if it works or not. Alright, here we go. Connect this up. Okay. All right. All right, turning it on. Which one's the power button? This one? Yeah. Okay. So far, so good. Says no signal, okay. Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Okay, well, there's that. Okay, we get some glue out now. Getting some glue out now. Here. Some along that edge there. Hey, this is okay. Let me get the lid. My original plan was to put a full-size ATX motherboard, which I had left over from my mining excursion, and an RX 580 that I also had left over from that experience. Plan was to just rig it up with the existing Pentium dual core that it had, and then later on maybe upgrade it to i5 or an i7, and then see if I could Hackintosh it from there. But after a bit of trial and error and all this, I mean, when the case was empty, it completely looked like there would be room for the power supply and that full-size ATX motherboard. But once you start putting things in place, it became apparent that I was going to need to use a micro ATX motherboard, and that there was not going to be room for the power supply inside the case. So I went out to the shed and I took apart one of my older computers, and I brought in my motherboard that had my Pentium D on it. And I grabbed the hard drive and some of the SATA cables and brought it all in so I could kind of mock it up and see what it would work like. And so that led us to this point here. And so this is what that looked like. I realized I was never going to be able to Hackintosh that Pentium D. So my next plan was to see if I could buy a micro ATX motherboard cheaply enough. Well, believe it or not, there's really nothing that cheap out there as far as something that was going to do me some good. I was hoping to run at least a 7th gen. I mean, 6th gen would have worked, at least as well as what I have now on my current rig. But I wasn't able to find anything that was going to be cost effective there. So then I started thinking, well, for a couple $100 I could pick up one of those mini computers. It's got pretty decent specs, but it wouldn't be able to put I wouldn't be able to put a video card on it. So as I'm thinking about all this, it finally occurs to me, well, if you want an all-in-one little computer that has the power supply and the computer all in one little box, and you want it to be able to run Mac OS, why not just look for a used Mac Mini? So that is the route I took, and I found a 2014 Mac Mini for sale, so I picked it up. Alright, so this is the new computational unit for the Carbon iMac. Let's just see what's in here, huh? How do you open it? Let's see what came. I don't think we got a cord. Oh man. Another day, another disappointment. I thought it showed that it came with a cord. That's right. We'll find it out later. Maybe it's in there. Just don't see it. I don't think so. Alright. What we have here is an iMac Mini. And it is has an i5 2.6 gigahertz and 256 gigabytes of SSD storage. So coolness. It didn't come with a cord unless it's in the box and I didn't see it. Looks to be in fairly nice shape. Got some goobers on the apple there. I guess we could see how it fits. You could do that. Can't do anything else. Let's see here. Untuck that. Take this over here. So, and that could go there. Let's see what we're recording here. Anything. And let's see here. The Mac Mini. So here's the HDMI cable right here. That will go on there like so. And then the Mac Mini fits in here. And we just hook up. We have this an iMac, a working iMac that actually can run the latest software. How cool is that? No big deal. It's just a misunderstanding on my part, I guess. I thought it came with a cord. I'll get a cord. I'll either get one from Amazon or I'll get one off eBay. Okay, let's put this back where it was. Yeah, listen, I can't do nothing with this today. Alright, y'all, so it's been several frustrating minutes. I did a little Googling, and so it appears that the HDMI port on the Mac Mini does not support VGA converters, but the Thunderbolt port will. So, thankfully, I still had one of these guys here, which is a Thunderbolt to HDMI adapter that we used with the MacBook. So, we actually had what we needed and didn't have to buy anything else. How about that? So yeah, it just plugs right in here in one of these little smaller Thunderbolt ports here. It works in conjunction with this. What I don't know is if it will work with this other one. So I got this switch right here. I had it working a second ago, but through a different little setup going here. So let's see if it goes through the switch and works that way. Okay. There's a green light on the yeah, it's working. Sure enough. How about that? How about that? So there's no scaling or anything on the dock at this point. Let's see what we can do with the dock. We just have to go to preferences. Yeah, that's pretty good. I usually like it about 2/3 the way over. So we'll do a quick about this Mac right here. And so we have Mac OS Big Sur. It is, let's see here, 2.6 gigs, dual core i5, which makes me mad. It's only got 8 gigs of RAM. I know I looked at one that had 16 gigs of RAM. Same processor speed. I imagine it was probably the same dual core. But at any rate, it's got the Intel Iris graphics, so I guess that's the embedded graphics in the i5. Yeah. So 8 gigs of RAM, 2.6 gig dual core i5. I was kind of hoping with the faster chip that it would be a 4-core, but I didn't know. And you only get so much description out of an eBay ad. I guess I could have done some Googling or something, but I didn't. And like I say, I looked at one that was 16 gigs and ended up buying this one for some reason. The one I looked at came with a cord. This one didn't. Oh well, whatever. 8 gigs is more than enough for what we plan to do with this machine. I mean, it's a mini. We're not going to do a whole bunch of video editing and all that with a mini. So we got the big beast over there. We can work with that for. So we don't need to do that with this little iMac. We got a few things to do here, for sure. Not the least of which is I would like to get this a little more sanitary looking. So let's just see what we can do about any of that. We lengthened these wires so that we could get the controls over here instead of having them on short wires over here where they did nobody any good. Now they're able to be moved around a little bit better. I think if nothing else, today I want to come in under the pan and go over that way with it so that they're not on top, so they look a little cleaner. Alright, so we've gone far enough so we can get the monitor taken out of the way. I just have these kind of on there. So speakers inside, fail. They're not going to fit. They're just not going to fit. Let's pull all this back out for a second so we don't have to disassemble the switch. We'll put the switch inside here. It absolutely turns into a thing. So, if we put it even with this first row of holes here, we might be able to get it in there. So we might be onto something here. Let's just flip this baby over. I mean, we don't really need the whole box to be accessible. We just need, we only need the switches. So I think this will work. Cool. And that way the strap's up there. Just the strap is up there, and the Mini could sit on top of the strap if need be. So let's see here. Maybe from here and go back in there. Yeah, I like this better. Lots better. Okay. Feed it through some more. It's good. Pretty. Okay. If nothing else, it looks like we're probably going to get this done. That's when here. Yeah, that ain't bad. That's pretty snug. I don't think it's moving around much. And what's good about it is we have the straps resisting. See, if we were to put the straps this way, it could try to push the box loose of the straps as you push the buttons. But since the force is this way and we have the straps running this way, I think we got the hot setup. So maybe put a zip tie through here. And I think we got enough to put the monitor on. And then have some spare. But without the whole cable going everywhere. I kind of like that plan. This will work just as well. Oh yeah, look at that. That's nice. And that'll keep that bunch in there from coming out. So the other cable, the one we're going to use to hook this up as a monitor, will have to go there. Well, I guess we could go ahead and get that connected now that we're not going to confuse it with the other, huh? I was a little concerned because it's basically the same cable. I was concerned that we were going to be able to confuse them and screw this up, but I think waiting like I did until after I had the one that goes to the monitor all cinched down, there's no mistaking one for the other at this point. This one, I'm actually going to probably just let come out the back. We're going to want some length to hook up a computer to this thing. So I cinched down the other cables. This one here is the one that has the Thunderbolt cable on it. Just want to cinch them all down to the underside of the tray there so I didn't have big wads of cable everywhere. This is the back view here. You can see the Mac Mini in there and the crazy bracketry I rigged up to hold the monitor up and all that. It actually came out kind of clean when it was done there. That control board for the monitor, I didn't get any footage of it, unfortunately, but I actually mounted that on some standoffs to the underside of the tray, and that is accessible through the hole in the side. Well, alrighty, y'all. You pretty much caught up to about the time where I'm editing the video you're watching right now. My wife didn't like the white keyboard. I told her I didn't want to pay for the graphite keyboards I was able to find on eBay. So she said, well, I'll buy it then. So she bought me a graphite keyboard. So since she bought that, I bought a black Pro mouse to match it. So now, both the iMac's have matching keyboards now. The Blueberry has a Blueberry one, and the Graphite has a Graphite keyboard. And of course we got the Pro Nice on both of them. So that's pretty cool. So as much work as we've done, we still have more to do. I mean, it's still hokey to turn it on. I need to rig up something with this power button on the front or some other button somewhere where you don't have to lift this up. Stick a finger in here, turn it on. I mean, it works, but it's not great. It's a work in progress for sure. So it came with Big Sur. I screwed up the video on Big Sur, so I installed Monterey. Then I never really got to experience Big Sur, so I installed Big Sur on a second partition. So it's got Big Sur and Monterey on it now. Now I'll show you what those speakers sound like. I mean, obviously, you can't really show how good speakers sound. But you can show how bad they sound. So, you know, depending on your device, that's going to be a thing. So I put the flash drive in there. So we played this song a little earlier in the video. So this is full volume here. The Mini has internal speakers. As I hope you can hear, though, they're not too impressive. So the USB speakers are much nicer than those. At any rate, yeah, they sound okay. They're not, you know, they don't sound as good as my bookshelf speakers sound, but I didn't expect them to. Yeah, they don't sound bad. I don't think they're too far off from what you'll get. Maybe they don't go quite as loud as what originally came in the iMac, but the Mini doesn't have enough power in its headphone jack to drive those speakers. I would need an amplifier. And then I'm not real sure about the quality of them. They didn't sound bad at first, but any jostling around knocks the foam out that's all dried up, and the Blueberry ones didn't sound bad at first either, but then the foam fell out and they sound pretty awful now. So I think with the being all caught up to where we are currently, I will leave the rest for a future video. I do hope you all enjoyed the video, and I thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd like to invite you to do so. So, until the next time, y'all take care.